Please, what echo this? Please, I've just come back to my flat and the door was locked, so I crawled through the window and my flatmate's covered in blood in the bathroom. Alice! Alice! Oh my God, she's dead!
Police have launched a murder investigation after the body of a Leicestershire woman was discovered in Gateshead. Officers found 24-year-old Ms Ruggles with serious injuries on Rawlings Road last night. She died at the scene.
The murder was an act of utter barbarism.
Her throat slit from ear to ear in her Gateshead home.
You look at that bathroom and you think about the injuries she sustained. 5 or 6 times the knife had been drawn across her throat. It was so brutal and senseless. She was a kind-hearted young woman who had everything to live for.
I posted the selfie to Facebook. A friend of a friend actually commented on the photo, and that person was Harry.
The 25-year-old man's been arrested on suspicion of murder and remains in police custody.
Are you saying that Alice is dead? Or someone's...
All I can tell you is that you've been arrested on suspicion of the murder of Ms Ruggles.
It was really a little bit later before we started to realise, hang on a minute, things aren't right. He demanded to know where she was going and what she was doing. Unannounced, he'd just drive down to Newcastle and turn up. What he was actually doing was gradually isolating Alice and making her more and more dependent on him. We just didn't realise the danger that she was in.
So, Harriet, 1834 hours yesterday, Ms Ruggles was found at her home address in Gateshead and she'd been murdered. Okay, did you murder Alice?
No, I did not murder Alice.
Police have launched a murder investigation after the body of a Leicestershire woman was discovered in Gateshead. Officers found 24-year-old Ms Ruggles with serious injuries on Rawlings Road last night. She died at the scene. The 25-year-old man remains in police custody.
So, Harriet, 1834 hours yesterday, Ms Ruggles was found at her home address in Gateshead and she'd been murdered. Okay, did you murder Alice?
No, I did not murder Alice.
Do you have any knowledge of this?
No, I don't have any knowledge of this.
Were you present when this murder occurred?
No, I wasn't.
That year, Alice invited Harry, and I thought, oh, OK, it must be quite serious if she's bringing him along. Alice was a little less outgoing than she'd normally be, I think. She was a bit less Alice.
She was less self-confident. She'd lost weight. She had this sort of far-away look. It was quite clear there was something seriously wrong. But we couldn't talk to her about it because he was always there. Just a couple of days after they went back up from Cornwall, Alice was contacted by someone she didn't know to say, do you realise your boyfriend's cheating on you? All through this time, he was actually dating other women on other social media. When she discovered that he'd been cheating on her, that was when she ended the relationship. Or tried to, because of course he wasn't going to have any of that.
In the background, Harry was unleashing the most awful strain of harassment.
Alex, please call me back. Please. I just want to speak to you. There's nothing else. I don't even know if you're getting this voice messages, but please can you call me back?
If he couldn't get a hold of her, he would drive down. He inserted himself physically into her life.
He's messaged her any way he can from his friends' mobile phones. Sent the message to me, and he sent messages to some of Alice's other friends. And I just messaged him and I said, if things are really going so badly, then maybe it's better that you don't carry on going out.
She's tried telling him she's not interested. That hasn't worked. He's escalated, he's continued the behaviour, and it's got worse. So I think at this point she starts trying to ignore him, and that's when it starts to get a bit more serious. I'm a tech guy, I'm from a tech background, so my first instinct, of course, right, well, he's got access to accounts and devices, we need to get that back, we need to lock him out. The problem with these big social media companies is you're not really talking to a person, and they can't really help you for a lot of these things. In the end, she closed that Facebook account and started a new one.
It's something that I did I shouldn't have done, but because I had her Facebook password, so I went on her Facebook and changed her password.
So you've logged on as her and changed her password?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't stalk her and all that. Obviously, I did look at her Facebook to see what's going on, because I've been with her for so long through all these things, so I can't just turn her off my head. I'm not a geek mobile. I couldn't go on her Facebook or on her WhatsApp. I couldn't hack her phone. I just played that card out like, well, I've got on your phone and I can see there's a guy you're speaking to. Tell me what his name is. Tell me what's going on. She fell for it. And she was like, oh, I met this guy. And I was like, please don't do this to me. How can you move on so fast? I'm still in love with you and you're like, you've moved on.
Evening, Northumbria, please.
Hi there. I just need a bit of advice, really, more than anything. So I split up with my boyfriend about 3 months ago. Since then, I know that he's hacked into my Facebook and also my phone. He's been sending me a lot of messages, even though I've asked him not to contact me. And then tonight, well, I had a knock at my door. There was no one there, and then it happened again 2 or 3 times. He's come round the back, knocked on my bedroom window at the back of my flat, ground floor flat, and he's been outside and he's like left some flowers and chocolates on the like outside windowsill, and like he walked off. He's not done anything, but I'm concerned. Like my friends have been telling me to call the police. I've been putting it off, but I just feel a bit like shaken up tonight. So
well, it can be classed as harassment.
Yeah.
Which is a crime.
The guy at the end of the phone, he identifies it as harassment, not as stalking. And there's a serious difference there. The fact that he is prepared to spend 5 hours just to come down on the off chance of seeing her gives you an idea of how dangerous this situation is getting.
Hey, Alice. After we spoke and we didn't want to speak, so that's why I decided to come down to give you flowers and chocolates. I just wanted to give you flowers and chocolates to prove that, no, I don't want to kill you. I'm not intending to kill you. That's all I wanted to say.
I have no indication that Alice wanted anything to do with you ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've still come down.
Yeah.
And it's not like you live in Newcastle.
No, I know. I've come along.
You live over 2 hours away.
I understand.
So that, to me, makes me think this guy is, like, desperate. You are desperate to speak to her.
Yeah.
Alice, once she had made that phone call to 101, the best would be to get an SPO issued, a stalking protection order, which would protect her but also manage Harry Dhillon's behaviour. Unfortunately, this time they weren't in place and a PIN was issued.
She was told on the first call that if he contacted her again, he would be in breach of his PIN and he would be arrested.
We didn't really understand that he was obsessed with Alice and how dangerous a person he was. And after she'd gone to the police and Harry found out she'd gone to the police, he messaged me again. He was absolutely furiously angry. It really, really disturbed me at the time. And then she also received a parcel with a really weird letter.
Alice was taken away from her family by an obsessed man who was so controlling he chose to brutally murder her rather than let her go.
Alice has done all the right things. She's contacted the police, she's moving on, she expects him to move on, and you know, the protection should have been there, but they weren't.
Hi there. Yeah, I've been in touch with the police. Somebody's been issued with a PIN so that they can't contact me. However, I've had a letter off them.
What was the content of the letter? Was he...
So pictures of me and him, because he's my ex-boyfriend, so like a notebook that I sent him when we were together and a letter. It says at the bottom he won't contact, this will be the last I hear from him, but he's said that a lot of times and he never does seem to stop.
So do you want to call back to discuss this?
She was phoned back by the police, and all we know is Alice was so upset by this because they phoned us. They said, well, what do you expect us to do about it? Arrest him? In a tone of voice that made it sound completely ridiculous to want that. So Alice gets to the flat, locks herself in, as always.
She was organising meeting up with this new guy. She was very excited about it.
Suddenly, she stops responding to anything. Her flatmate gets home and she can't get in through the door. So she has to go round, climbing through a window which has been left open. She finds Alice.
Police emergency. Thank you. Go ahead, caller.
Please, I've just come back to my flat and the door was locked, so I crawled through the window and my flatmate's covered in blood in the bathroom.
Is she breathing?
I don't know, I can't look, I'm sorry.
Okay, try and stay calm.
Alice! Alice! Oh my God, she's dead! She's dead!
Can you have a look and see if she's breathing for the ambulance?
She's not.
She's not breathing?
No, she looks, no. Everything's been knocked off, it looks like she's been attacked. Please help. Oh my God, I can't even go on, I'm so scared.
Try and stay calm, you're doing really well.
She's not breathing, she's actually blue, please. Please, I need somebody here right now.
I know you do, we're getting to you as soon as we can.
We tried to leave, I mean, this was coming, I acted as an absolute psychopath.
Say that again, sorry.
She put in a complaint in about her ex and she phoned 101 at the weekend to report that he's tried to get in contact and he says we're going to do nothing. Now this has happened to me.
About who?
Our ex-boyfriend, Harry Dhillon.
Officers found 24-year-old Ms Ruggles with serious injuries on Rawlings Road last night. She died at the scene. The 25-year-old man's been arrested on suspicion of murder and remains in police custody.
So, Harriet, 1834 hours yesterday, Ms Ruggles was found at her home address in Gateshead and she'd been murdered. Okay, did you murder Alice?
No, I did not murder Alice.
Do you have any knowledge of this?
No, I don't have any knowledge of this.
I think he genuinely believed that he would get away with it.
Can you tell me what you were doing yesterday then, from 10 a.m. until the time you were arrested last night?
I drove down towards Newcastle, and because I just wanted answers. So I drove down to speak to her.
So you've knocked on the door and there's been no reply.
No
Did you go
reply.
back to the car?
No.
Or did you go straight round the back?
Straight round the back. I jumped over the wall.
So you've jumped over?
Yeah. So I've jumped over, and she then started saying, what are you doing here? I'm going to call the police, leave now. And I'm like, Alice, please calm down. Stop panicking. I'm just here to speak to you. You've not given me my answers. I just want my answers.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to call 999. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I don't want any trouble with the police again. I'm leaving.
I found out at about 4 in the morning. Immediately, I knew it was Harry. Although, obviously, nothing's been proven or anything yet.
We're looking for fingerprints. We're looking for blood transfer from the scene to the car.
See, the thing is, sorry I'm interrupting, there won't be any blood transfer because there was no blood on me when I left that place.
So are you saying when you left her she had no injuries or anything?
Oh, no, absolutely nothing. No injuries, nothing. She was perfectly fine, fit, healthy.
We've been told exactly what happened to her. And how you cut her throat.
No comment.
Are you looking back? Are you? Do you remember what happened?
No comment.
Do you remember what you did?
No comment.
Do you remember how bad it was?
No comment.
Do you remember the blood spraying?
No comment.
I'm being told that she suffered. She must have known what was happening. Because she didn't die straight away.
A man is evading court accused of murdering a woman from Leicestershire. 25-year-old Trimaan Dhillon, also known as Harry Dhillon from Scotland, appeared in front of magistrates at Newcastle Crown Court this morning.
But a case like this one, where you think the evidence is overwhelming, everybody expects the person to be convicted. I was very surprised at the first hearing when he said he was not guilty of murdering Alice.
Tonight, a soldier accused of killing his ex-girlfriend at Gateshead. Today described the events leading up to her death.
Lance Corporal Trimaan Dhillon told jurors at Newcastle Crown Court he went to retrieve clothes from the home of Ms Ruggles, but after a prolonged scuffle, she fell and was wounded in the neck by a knife. He denies murdering her.
He spent 2 days standing just 5 metres in front of us in the courtroom, spinning his story. He was totally unemotional.
As a prosecutor, you don't know what a jury will make of it. So you've really just got to break it down and not take any chances. The background and the atmosphere that was leading up to this killing was so important. Over many, many weeks and months, there'd been this telephone calls.
Please call me back, please.
Text messages, WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages. Heaping on pressure on pressure on pressure.
Prosecutor Richard Wright QC accused Lance Corporal Harry Dhillon of stalking his ex-girlfriend Alice and being utterly obsessed with her.
It was a very important theme in the evidence that he had a real history of controlling behaviour. It was a feature of not just his relationship with Alice, but of all of the relationships we were able to identify.
We learned lots of things during the trial that we didn't know before. For example, there were 2 or 3 occasions when he'd stalked other people. We'd had some inkling of one of them, but yeah, not the others.
He told Alice about the restraining order against him, and in fact, he used that as a sort of weapon for Alice and said, there's no point in you calling the police because I've done this before and I got off with it.
The prosecution suggested Dhillon is a person who lies to help himself. Dhillon accepted he has lied in the past.
We were able to really break it down and demonstrate to the jury that what he was doing was lying, and every time a lie was disproved, he'd come up with another one to tell in its place. The scenes of crime analysis demonstrated that the slitting of the throat and bruising to Alice's back suggested clearly was that Dhillon had kneeled or stood on her back, pulled back her hair and slit her throat in the shower. So the idea that she was the one with the knife was ludicrous. You want the jury to get there themselves. You've got to give them the tools to make the decision. Alice Ruggles wanted to live because she loved life. And that image of Alice is what I wanted the jury to remember, not what he did to her.
Her murder was an act of utter barbarism. The words of a judge today as he jailed a soldier for killing his ex-girlfriend at her flat in Gateshead.
The judge formed the view that Harry Dhillon was an obsessive, controlling narcissist who had shown no remorse at all, and gave him 22 years as a minimum term of a life sentence.
Alice was a kind, incredibly sociable, fun-loving person. She had the ability to light up the room whenever she walked in. We miss her so much.
The IOPC, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, found that Northumbria police officers did not properly investigate Alice Ruggles' concerns about stalking.
His use of social media isolated Alice from support and limited her ability to prevent unwanted contact.
By no means will everybody who harasses somebody go on to kill them. But people who kill their partners in domestic contexts will often have harassed them. And so one is a warning sign of what might happen. The criminal justice system will always be the blunt instrument at the end of the process. That what needs to change is at the front end in terms of protective measures that can be put in place before you get to court, in terms of the police taking these issues seriously, and in terms of having the resources and the tools to tackle this sort of behaviour.
The Alice Ruggles Trust, for example, are very committed to education from a young age about healthy relationships.
We founded the trust in Alice's name because we thought, no, we've got to stop people like ourselves not knowing how dangerous stalking is. We wanted to prevent what happened to Alice happening to others.